These days it's common knowledge that Meghan Markle is not on the best of terms with her royal in-laws. But for as many facts as we have about the situation, there's still widespread disagreement about which party bears the majority of the blame for the bad blood. In the US, Meghan is more popular than the Windsors. And that's not just because of national pride. The millions who watched Meghan's interview with Oprah Winfrey came away with the sense that the Duchess of Cambridge had been badly mistreated during her time in the UK. We learned from that conversation that Meghan was nearly driven to suicide by the cruelty she faced in London. Meanwhile, the author Lady Antonia Fraser now telling the Duchess to shut up. Now I'm afraid, appearing on Oprah Winfrey was worse than a crime, it was a mistake. I just wish vainly she'd shut up. And Prince Harry. And Prince Andrew. I'd like to see another photograph by the Duchess of Cambridge rather than read another thing about Prince Harry. One Twitter user said, that interviewers will always be successful, because you all still talking about it. Well done, Princess Meghan and Prince Harry. And they haven't even said 1% of what really happened behind closed doors. It was worse. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex sensationally announced in January 2020 that they would be stepping down as senior members of the royal family, completing their final duties in March of that year. Prince Harry could be tipped for a return to the UK in a new role with or without wife Meghan Markle, claims a former royal bodyguard who once protected Princes William and Harry. Former police protection officer Ken Worf has cast doubt over whether he thinks the plan to stay in California will be permanent, and speculated that Prince Harry may take on a more active role in the royal family again once his father, Prince Charles, becomes king. The former royal bodyguard said, "Personally I do, and I base that on gut reaction really. I just cannot see them forevermore living in California. It's clear to me that Harry is not quite a fish out of sea. I mean, he is getting involved in charitable work and he has these attachments to Netflix and other companies, but quite where they'll end up we don't know. But I just think his involvement with his military charities, quite how he runs that on the other side of the Atlantic, I don't know. But I just have this feeling that he could well be back in a new role, with or without Meghan. I honestly don't know. But to answer your question, I do think he will be back in some form as part of his father's plan for trimming down the monarchy, because within the next decade that is going to happen. For actress Danae Benton, the Duchess of Sussex was set up to face difficulties like these. Benton weighed in on the situation as she sees it. "It's such a layered conversation, obviously," she said. "Being the first and only person of color, you're really set up for an incredible amount of abuse. The system isn't set up to support you. And I think that, because of the lineage of the really profoundly devastating effects of colonization as it relates to the monarchy, you can't necessarily just pop a black person in. We saw great criticism of the royal family's historical ties to colonization earlier this year, when the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge visited the Caribbean and were met with protests from locals. It's clear that there is still a huge amount of work to do there with regards to racism and inequality. It requires a lot of reckoning," Benton said of Markle's situation within the firm more specifically.